Colombia's earthquake rescue operation entered its critical final phase on Wednesday as the crews raced to find the survivors before the crucial 72-hour window closed, while the nation began 3 days of mourning for the victims. Korea's auto exports climbed to an all-time July high, powered by robust overseas demand for eco-friendly vehicles. Korea is stepping up efforts to tackle a severe drought in Gyeongsang-namdo province, with the nationwide firefighting resources and the military now mobilized to deliver emergency water supplies. 3 days after a powerful earthquake struck Colombia, rescuers are racing against the clock to find the survivors as the critical 72-hour window draws to a close. Our Shin So-won has our top story tonight.
Through broken concrete and mangled debris, rescue workers disappeared into the wreckage and re-emerged, carrying out one survivor. The dramatic rescue came late on Tuesday, nearly 40 hours after the survivor was trapped by the earthquake, offering a rare glimpse of hope to families still waiting outside rescue sites and morgues. Monday's 7.4 magnitude quake was the most powerful to hit the region this century. The new president of Colombia declared 3 days of national mourning on Thursday in honor of all the dead. With the critical 72-hour survival window closing, emergency crews worked through the night searching for survivors while volunteers formed human chains to carry out debris.
At the moment, we have not found signs of life of my relatives, but we have hopes that they are in there, that they have strength.
As of Thursday, local authorities announced that the death toll had topped 265, with around 3,500 people injured and others still officially listed as missing. Civil organizations, however, estimate that nearly 4,000 people remain unaccounted for, a figure far higher than the official count.
We know we're going to do our very best, and we know we're going to make sure these families are successfully and happily reunited with their loved ones. We're going to make it happen.
To reconstruct devastated infrastructure, Colombia's president invoked an economic emergency on Tuesday, announcing plans to establish a miracle fund to gain domestic and international contributions. Relief supplies from countries including El Salvador are being transported to Colombia, and South Korea and the United States have pledged $1 million and $15.5 million respectively in humanitarian assistance. Officials are now focusing on rural areas where little information about the damage has been released, while seeking ways to deliver aid to the hardest-hit regions. Shin So-won, Arirang News.
South Korea is stepping up its response to a worsening drought in Gyeongsang-namdo province, with the nationwide firefighting resources and the military joining emergency water supply efforts. Our Park Kwon-woo reports.
A severe drought gripping South Korea's southern regions is worsening, prompting firefighters to step up emergency water supplies under a nationwide emergency response. For the second straight day, 200 fire trucks mobilized from 16 cities and provinces are supplying water to drought-hit areas, with efforts focused especially on Gyeongsang-namdo province in the country's southeast. The National Fire Agency says more than 4,700 tons of agricultural water were delivered on Wednesday alone. The military also joined the emergency efforts on Thursday. The Army's 39th Infantry Division deployed 12 water trucks to Haman for a 3-day operation as the county is at the severe level, the highest on the country's 5-tier agricultural drought scale. Air Force and Navy units in the province have also begun providing water. The drought continues to spread across the province as 5 regions including Uiryong and Changmyeong are now labeled in the highest severe category, meaning every city and county in the province is now under some level of agricultural drought alert. Farmland damaged by extreme heat and drought has also surpassed 2,400 hectares. Some rain is forecast for parts of the region on Thursday, but it's unlikely to bring significant relief. Meteorological drought, which is assessed based on a cumulative rainfall over 6 months, is now affecting much of southern Korea. Busan, Ulsan, and Gyeongsang-namdo province have seen rainfall deficits of around 400 millimeters compared with the seasonal average. But more substantial rain could arrive over the weekend as moisture from Typhoon Dolphin, which made landfall in China, is expected to feed rain clouds moving toward the Korean peninsula. The Korea Meteorological Administration forecasts rain beginning in Jeju and western regions early Sunday before spreading nationwide later in the day and continuing into Monday. 박건우, 아리랑 뉴스.
Korea's auto exports hit a record high for the month of July, fueled by strong global demand for eco-friendly vehicles. Our Park Jun-han has the details.
Korea's automobile exports hit a new record high in July. According to the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Resources on Thursday, outbound shipments of automobiles reached $6.24 billion last month. This marks the highest export figure ever recorded for any July in the country's history. It also represents a 7% increase compared to the same period last year. The primary engine driving this record-breaking performance is the eco-friendly vehicle sector. Exports of green cars surged by more than 25% on year. By vehicle type, hybrid models climbed 22.2% to $1.65 billion, while electric and hydrogen fuel cell vehicles jumped 31.9% to $940 million. Industry data shows that demand for both hybrid and fully electric models remain robust in major global markets, particularly in North America and the European Union. Shipments to North America jumped 18% year-on-year to $3.25 billion, while exports to the EU rose 23.5% to $880 million. Looking at the broader picture, vehicle production grew by 11.3% on-year to 352,000 units. This boost in manufacturing was largely supported by an increase in working days, as some major automakers adjusted their traditional summer holiday schedules. Meanwhile, domestic sales saw a modest rise, inching up by 0.5%. Overall, while the domestic market remains relatively quiet, the sustained global demand for Korean-made eco-friendly vehicles will likely sustain the industry's strong export momentum for the months ahead. Park Jun-han, 아리랑 뉴스.
At an emergency economy headquarters meeting on Thursday, a Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance and Economy Gu Yun-chul announced Korea will ease regulation on advanced industries like semiconductors to induce 4.2 trillion Korean won, or around $3 billion in investments. For semiconductors, the government will simplify building permits, so companies in the Yongin semiconductor cluster can expand their factories much faster. For battery recycling firms, entry barriers into industrial complexes in Gumi and Pohang will be lifted, while green spaces in Ochang will be converted into industrial land for a bioplant expansion. The government will also soon release a second package targeting green industries and hyper-innovation projects. Korea's tech-heavy KOSDAQ index is gaining global attention after months of sluggish performance. The secondary market has topped major global indexes and gains this month, with government efforts expected to give it a further boost. For more, we have our economic correspondent Kim Junong in the studio tonight. Welcome back, Junong.
Great to be here, Dami.
So, Junong, the KOSDAQ has long been seen as the rather secondary to the benchmark KOSPI, but it's been quite seeing the rebound lately, right?
Right, its recent gains have been impressive. Today's gains remained modest, up 0.29% from the previous close, but the index has been much on a stronger run lately. After months of heavy selling, the KOSDAQ jumped more than 30% in recent weeks. Buy-side sidecars were triggered 3 days in a row earlier this month. That's nearly double the KOSPI's gain, making it the world's best-performing major index so far in August. As semiconductor stocks lost momentum, investors began shifting from the benchmark KOSPI to the long-overlooked secondary market. Tighter rules on single-stock leveraged products have also helped drive the shift.
When single-stock leveraged ETFs were launched, they drew significant funds away from the KOSDAQ. Now, much of that money appears to be flowing back into the market.
I see. And Junong, I also hear government's expectations over the government's revitalization efforts have also played a role. Is that it?
That's right. The government has repeatedly signaled its commitment to boost investor sentiment in the KOSDAQ market. And starting today, efforts to weed out underperforming firms have kicked off. 36 stocks in both the KOSPI and KOSDAQ were placed under administrative review. And for the KOSDAQ, this designation applies to companies trading below 1,000 won for 30 straight sessions or falling short of the 20 billion won or roughly $14 million market cap requirement. Such stocks could face delisting if they continue to fall short of the requirements. The move aims to remove weaker firms and improve overall market quality.
Until now, the KOSDAQ has been a difficult market for both retail investors and pension funds to invest in actively. If these measures lead to more stable growth, they could create an environment that naturally draws long-term investment.
A new tier system for KOSDAQ-listed firms is also planned for later this year. Firms will be divided into groups such as Premium and Standard to boost investor access and market confidence. More details are expected as early as September or October, with the plan set to help boost market value.
This could help address concerns over the KOSDAQ's overall quality. It could also lead to new ETFs and make it easier for pension funds to invest in premium tier companies. While investment may differ by tier, significant inflows are likely to be seen in the premium segment.
Well, there seems to be a lot to look forward to for the KOSDAQ. The question is, Junyoung, can we expect this positive trend to continue?
Well, analysts remain largely positive, saying there's still room for further gains. And chip-related stocks are likely to remain a major driver. The government is pushing for greater public and private investment in semiconductors, which could benefit chip materials, parts, and equipment makers. Another boost could come from the government-backed National Growth Fund. With investments focused largely on AI and emerging technologies, the fund is expected to provide further support for many KOSDAQ-listed firms. But still, analysts warn against getting too optimistic. For the KOSDAQ to move beyond previous highs and keep rising over the long term, deeper structural changes will be needed. That means stronger performance from leading firms while smaller companies grow into bigger players. Policies that help sustain both sides will be the key.
More policy-backed venture funding is needed to give companies a reason to stay on the KOSDAQ. The market has long been seen as a stepping stone to the KOSPI, which prompted many promising companies to move out. Preventing that should be the top priority. A stronger identity should also be built around key sectors like biotech and batteries.
And ultimately, sustainable earnings and better shareholder returns need to take hold in the secondary market. Only then can the KOSDAQ sustain long-term gains.
I see. Junyoung, thank you for the comprehensive coverage.
Thank you.
U.S. troops will be withdrawing from Iraq completely by September 30th. It'll close more than 2 decades of U.S. military involvement in the country. Our Oh Seung has the details.
All remaining American troops in Iraq are set to leave by the end of next month, completing the withdrawal of forces deployed under the US-led coalition against the Islamic State. Iraqi Prime Minister Ali al-Zaidi reaffirmed the deadline after meeting US Central Command Chief Admiral Brad Cooper on Wednesday. He calls September 30th the fixed and final date for ending the coalition's military mission and completing the departure of its forces. A US official also told the Associated Press that Washington expects to complete the departure on schedule, but did not say how many troops remain or where they will go next. Most American forces had already withdrawn from bases elsewhere in Iraq last year, under a phased agreement reached by Washington and Baghdad in 2024. American forces invaded Iraq in 2003 as Washington pursued its post-9/11 war on terror. The George W. Bush administration accused Saddam Hussein's government of possessing weapons of mass destruction, and US-led forces toppled the longtime Iraqi leader within weeks. US troop numbers rose above 170,000 at the height of counterinsurgency operations in 2007, before the last combat troops left in 2011. Washington returned forces in 2014 at the Iraqi government's request after the Islamic State seized large areas of Iraq and neighboring Syria. While coalition combat operations ended in 2021, around 25,000 troops stayed to train local forces and counter Islamic State operations. The departure also comes as Baghdad seeks to bring weapons under state control. Al-Zaidi has set the same September 30th deadline for non-state groups to disarm, although some powerful Iran-backed militias say they will not give up their weapons. The US State Department has said the Islamic State remains a threat in the region, but that cooperation with Iraq can now shift from a foreign troop presence to a bilateral security partnership. Oh Soo-young, Arirang News.
Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi is pushing back on U.S. President Donald Trump's claim that the U.S. fully controls the Strait of Hormuz. In a post on social media site X, Araghchi said the U.S. has repeatedly miscalculated due to intelligence failure, pointing to the war on Iran as one example. He said Washington is now making an even bigger miscalculation over the Strait of Hormuz, writing, "Worse than fake news is fake intelligence, be careful." The head of Iran's Abbasist paramilitia, Hossein Tayev, echoed the message, saying the strait remains under Iran's control and management. According to Fars news agency, Tayev said the U.S. tried to provoke another war in the strait to weaken regional support for Iran and failed again. North Korea is reportedly deepening its support for Russia, with Pyongyang considering another major increase in troop deployments, while also sending more workers to the country. Kim Do-yeon has more.
North Korea is reviewing a plan to increase its troop deployment to Russia by the end of November to 50,000 troops. This is according to Japan's Kyodo News on Thursday, citing Ukraine's Defense Intelligence Directorate. The plan calls for stationing North Korean troops in 3 western Russian regions bordering Ukraine, freeing existing Russian forces there for redeployment to the front line. This new development comes as Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has continuously highlighted the two sides' close cooperation recently.
For the first time, they cannot wage war without reinforcements from North Korea. They are now preparing to deploy an additional North Korean contingent on their territory.
But experts say the numbers can't be taken as exact figures.
In the history of warfare, deploying around 50,000 troops abroad is extremely unusual. It may only be possible because it benefits both Russia and China, but under normal military logic, that decision by Kim Jong-un would not come easily.
Beyond military support, the ties between Pyongyang and Moscow are evident. A report from NK News on Thursday also emphasized deepening economic ties. A Moscow staffing agency was seen advertising 40 North Korean women for hire on the marketplace Avito at around $6 an hour, highlighting their skills in making kimbap. Experts say these workers typically see little of that money, with most taken by intermediaries and the state. Such labor is barred outright under UN Security Council Resolution 2397, but has grown more prevalent as North Korea gains an economic boost from the war.
North Korea is the biggest beneficiary of this war. As long as it continues, the chances of talks between North Korea and Washington remain quite low.
Meanwhile, South Korea's Unification Ministry says Pyongyang's escalating criticism of the ROK-US alliance in Japan is aimed at justifying its own nuclear buildup while aligning more closely with Russia and China. Kim Do-yeon, Arirang News.
Incheon International Airport has ranked first in the world for international passenger traffic in the first half of 2026. It's the first time it has held a top spot since it opened back in 2001. Park Tae-ryung has this report.
Whether it's tourists arriving in Korea or passengers connecting to destinations overseas, more travelers are choosing Incheon International Airport.
As our connection back to the States, we're going to Dallas, and we chose Incheon because it has the best connection for us and the best time, so it was really great, and we really like the airport.
The growing flow of passengers has pushed the airport to a new milestone. Incheon International Airport handled 38.39 million international passengers in the first half of 2026, the highest figure in the world. It beat London Heathrow, which was second with 37.79 million passengers, while Singapore Changi ranked third with 34.53 million.
Foreign travelers made up a growing share of passengers at Incheon International Airport. Their share rose to 39.3% in the first half of this year, up from 35.2% last year and 32.8% in 2024. The airport corporation attributed the rise in passenger numbers to the U.S.-Iran war, which disrupted transit operations at major Middle Eastern hubs, shifting some Europe-bound travel demand to Incheon.
And they recommended the flight, the Asiana Airlines, and to go direct to the airport, not more expensive, and it's more direct. So because otherwise it's very long to stop first in Dubai and then so we wanted to go direct.
The rise was also driven by growing inbound travel, particularly by visitors from China and Japan.
We chose this airport because it has many connecting flights from China, and it's the largest airport in Korea.
Incheon Airport is very convenient, and immigration and customs procedures are quick.
The airport says it plans to build on the achievement by further improving services across its operations. With more travelers passing through its terminals than ever before, the Incheon International Airport is strengthening its position as one of the world's leading aviation hubs. 박채령, 아리랑 뉴스.
After years hidden from public view, a remarkable section of Jeju's volcanic heritage is opening its doors to offer visitors a rare glimpse to an underground world shaped by nature. Our Hong Seo-jung was there.
Showcasing the wonders of nature, a dark yet enchanting cave immediately captures visitors' attention. The Manjanggul Lava Tube on Jeju Island has opened a previously closed-off section to visitors after more than 2 years of restoration work. And foreign students got the first sneak peek through the World Heritage Festival program arranged by the Jeju Global Academy.
It's amazing to finally see this underground world that was previously hidden from view. And the sheer scale of it is just incredible too.
Designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2007, the cave is one of the world's longest lava tube caves. It features unique volcanic formations, including lava stalactites, flow lines, and columns.
Up until now, we've mostly kept our heritage hidden. This festival was created to share the cultural heritage we have here in Korea with people around the world.
Given its rich history, where it was discovered by a teacher and his young students on Jeju Island 80 years ago, the cave inspired more interest from the program participants.
I feel like this is the place that you can experience only here. There is no similar place anywhere, and it also carries this specific charm of Jeju Island.
The journey through Jeju's natural heritage continued. Part of the Komunodum lava tube system, Yongamgyo Bridge is a natural lava bridge formed by volcanic activity from Komunodum. As molten lava flowed underground, it gradually curved out a lava tube. When the lava drained away, the hardened upper layer remained, forming a natural bridge-like structure inside the cave.
It has so many history and so many things to know about. There is that history, there is that story that many people do not know. So for me, I feel like, oh, this is really impressive.
After a temporary opening during the UNESCO World Heritage Festival's Global Academy program, the Manjanggul Lava Tube will open again for visitors to enjoy from October 3rd to the October 18th. 80 years ago, young explorers discovered this cave and opened the door to its secrets. The challenge today is to keep that door open while protecting what lies beyond it. Hong Seo-jung, 아리랑 뉴스, 제주.
Today, the heat is back. With the heat index around 33 degrees Celsius, it felt quite hot out there. Starting 11 a.m. tomorrow, heatwave advisories will expand to many parts of the country except for Gangwon-do province. And as the heat builds up, the atmosphere will become increasingly unstable. We'll see passing showers across the country tomorrow with 5 to 40 millimeters of rain. And as easterly winds blow in, rain will fall along the east coast through tomorrow. Tomorrow, Seoul will start the day at 24 degrees, Chuncheon 22 and Daegu 23 degrees. Then by the afternoon, Seoul will get up to 33 degrees, while both Daegu and Gwangju will soar to 34 degrees. With the atmosphere remaining unstable, many areas including Seoul could see showers tomorrow and on Saturday. Then on Sunday, rain will spread across the country. Now here's a look at the weather around the world.
That is all we have for tonight. I'm Kim Dami. From all of us here at Arirang, thanks for watching and good night.